another point I think that you should be hit, that I think you can help with too, is when you have questions about how do witnesses hit. Uh, for instance, I can think of a case where you've got dueling liability experts, right? Like in a product setting or a med mal setting, even. You can put on a small, short focus group to get reactions to just the competing narrative of those two physicians and get perspectives on how do these two people hit? Who's more credible, who's more likable, who's more believable. And for a plaintiff's lawyer, that's really, really, really good information if you've got a case that really is just battle of the experts type thing, right?
Absolutely. I mean, and sometimes it's actually when one side has an expert and the other doesn't, then you really want to know how much extra oomph is that expert giving them. And it can be, for example, it could be the defense has an expert and plaintiff doesn't, or vice versa. And so we had that recently in a case where getting ready for trial, had some opening statements, and one side has an expert on seatbelts and the other doesn't. And it was like, okay, so how much, and it was amazing how the focus group was like, well, wait a second, like, and they totally like gave so many like pieces and pinpoints to go back and fight that expert. But I was like, well, how does this work it? Well, he didn't do this and he didn't, and I was like, oh, okay, wow. So they really gave a lot of feedback on, at first it sounded good, but they really picked him apart. And so it was great for for our lawyers watching to be able to be like, awesome. Like I know what kind of cross exam I'm going to go after now versus what maybe I was going to do before, because I want to give those jurors exactly what's on their mind, and
Yeah,
let him walk into it and then me be able to cross examine him and pick him apart.
yeah, and it's another part of the tunnel vision of trial prep is you have your own sort of preconceptions as the lawyer about what you think is important. Yeah, both chuckle when we say the lawyer thinks something's important because oftentimes we're such lawyers, right, that we don't actually know what the hell really matters in a case. So it's that independent perspective of non-lawyers, which is going to be your jurors, that a lot of times can get you on the right track. And that's a great example. It's a great analysis because I have heard similar stories, and sometimes it's after I got my ass handed to me by somebody because I didn't realize, what really was important. But that's really another great way to use the resource to help you find what is troubling or what is the real issue versus what you as the lawyer thinks would be the issue. So
Yeah.
don't
And
ever think you're too smart to get help.